In this video, I'm going to show you how easy it is to create beautiful abstract art featuring the human form. And what we're talking about here is bodyscape photography. You can create some amazing images like this with just a few pieces of gear and a couple easy lighting techniques. But first, I want to quickly explain what we mean when we use the term bodyscape. If you look online, bodyscapes are defined in different ways by different sources. Some say a bodyscape has to resemble some type of natural landscape. Other photographers use the term more loosely to mean an image featuring an area of the human form in an artistic way. Now, personally, I'll just say it can be anything that you want it to be as long as it's got some element of mystery or the feel of an abstract image when using the human form. Now, I want to say that doing bodyscape work is somewhat related to doing figure work. And the difference is that with figures, you're usually trying to make it obvious that you're working with the human form in an artistic way. With bodyscapes, it's not always immediately apparent that the image features an area of the human body. However, with both types of work, the lighting setups might be similar, and you're working with a model who might otherwise be posing for figure images. As a matter of fact, you can shoot both types of images in the same session, depending on your goals for the shoot. But in this tutorial, we're assuming the focus is primarily on creating bodyscapes. All right, like I said, creating bodyscapes is really very easy for the most part, even though the images themselves might look like you're using some very sophisticated lighting and editing techniques. What's great is you'll need minimal gear and minimal space to create this type of image. All right, and let's talk about what you're going to need. Now, of course, you're going to need a camera and a decent lens, and I'd recommend not using a wide-angle lens for most bodyscapes. If you use something more along the lines of a 50mm to an 85mm or some type of telephoto, you can keep to a comfortable distance from the model and get good framing for your shots. If all you've got right now is a kit lens to work with, that's fine for starters, but I'd recommend something that'll really produce sharp images. Skin, texture, and other details can really make the shot with some bodyscapes. Lighting can be just about anything as long as you use good angles, and that's usually sharp angles, and you make the necessary adjustments in post. But I'd suggest using an external flash or strobe and some type of modifier to control the aim and the spill of the light. Now, a gridded strip box is really good. Something like this Godox strip box runs about $40, but even a smaller strip box or regular soft box or an umbrella can work. Now, you'll also need something to mount that light to, like a basic light stand. And there are a couple other things that you might want to have on hand, like a blanket or a yoga mat for your model to use if some of the poses will be shot horizontally on the floor. And also be sure to always have other items to make your model comfortable, or make sure that you remind her to bring some items like a robe for breaks, water, snacks, things like that. Now, as far as the model goes, make sure to let the model know how to prepare for the shoot as you see fit. One of the things I like to remind the model about is not to wear tight-fitting clothing prior to arriving for the shoot, because sometimes it takes a while for those marks to stop showing on the skin. Things like straps and tightly cinched belts and some undergarments will cause these types of marks. Also, you want to make sure that where you shoot is appropriate for this type of shoot. And that can be a small space, but also keep it somewhat private so that the model and you don't feel weird about other people hanging around the shoot. As far as technique goes, there are several different lighting, posing, and editing techniques that I like to use for this type of photography. But in this video, we're going to keep things simple by focusing on just a couple of really effective ones that you can try right away. That being said, if you want to learn all about bodyscapes and figure photography and learn several different lighting and posing techniques, plus post-processing for some really nice effects, you can check out my 2 ebook bundle that covers everything. There are even some very useful bonuses included that will really help you out. If you want to check that out, the link is in the description below. Now, like I said, in this video, we're covering 2 of the most useful techniques. You might even think of these 2 techniques as just one technique applied in 2 different ways, vertically and horizontally, depending on whether the model is posing in a standing position or lying down. To be honest, you can get some of the same types of images in either type of pose, and I'm going to show you how in just a couple of minutes. All right, so the most important thing to consider for these types of shots is the angle of the lighting. You can see how a shot like this features a highlighted contour with deep shadows as you move toward the opposite side. And you might think of this as a type of rim lighting, which is accomplished by using a hard angle from behind into one side of the subject. or bring it around to do more of a side lighting effect. So you can play with the lighting angles and feather the lighting to get really any look that you want. All right, so let's start with the standing poses. You can have the light off to one side, like in this diagram, with the model here and the camera in this position. And you'll get that highlight around the contours based on, what the camera sees. With the light and the camera in this position, you can have the model rotate and vary her pose to get that effect on different areas of the form. And depending on the lens you're using and the distances you're working with and just framing in general, all that's left is to make sure that you just nail that focus and get those shots. Your light power settings and your camera exposure settings are also important. And you want to just, take some test shots to get the high contrast and relatively low-key images that you want. It's possible that your background's going to go completely dark on its own using these settings, but you might want to place a dark background behind your setups, to help with that. That way you can get that classic dark background look. The horizontal variation on this pose is simple. Now, if your subject is lying down for the shots, move the light behind and above. This is almost the same setup as before, but just turned on its side. This might seem like the natural way to shoot bodyscapes because we think of them as looking somewhat like landscapes, which are horizontal. But I actually think you can get more and easier variations with the standing versions. And as you'll see, it really doesn't matter how these frames are actually oriented when you shoot them because a lot of the magic happens later in post. When we import our images into something like Lightroom, this is where the other side of the art making process takes place. It might be helpful to first start off by switching the image to black and white. Then no matter what orientation we shoot our photos in, when we get them here into Lightroom, we can rotate and crop any way we want. So, for example, our standing poses can give us the material that we need for horizontal horizon bodyscapes. And of course, we can turn lying down shots into something other than horizontal bodyscapes. You're free to do whatever looks good to you. And that's what's so great about bodyscapes. Of course, the finishing touches are probably going to consist of adjustments to things like contrast and other tone adjustments. I personally like to play around with these and just, find the look and feel that I want for the image that I'm working on. Now for this type, I generally like deep blacks and crisp highlights, but I also want a little detail in the middle. All right, so I think you can see that creating bodyscapes using just one light isn't just easy and super affordable, but it's also wide open for creative and artistic expression. You can create beautiful images like this with just a few pieces of gear and a simple lighting technique. Now, I'm also going to quickly cover how to really finish this effect up in post, so stick around for that. All right, so what is high-key bodyscape photography? Now, the way I do high-key bodyscape photography involves using bright lighting and sometimes minimal shadows to create soft, luminous images. This is different from the deep shadows and dramatic contrast of low-key bodyscapes. So high-key bodyscapes emphasize light and subtlety, usually with a clean and airy aesthetic. Now, this style of lighting and post-processing can also be pretty popular with clients who want artistic nudes that feel elegant and abstract rather than overly personal. For instance, a client might request tasteful images that they can display at home without drawing attention to themselves as the subject. Now, I've had some clients tell me that that was exactly their intention for some of this type of work that I've done for them. All right, so here's what you're going to need for these kind of images. Of course, you're going to need a camera and a good lens, and typically I recommend going with a 50mm or an 85mm or something even longer if you've got the space to work with. This way you can keep to a comfortable working distance from the model and get good framing for your shots. Now, you can definitely use a kit lens or a slightly softer lens for this type of bodyscape too, but a better lens tends to result in better images. Now, you're also going to need a couple of background lights, and just to put this out there, you don't need high-powered strobes for any of this. You can use basic speed lights if that's what you've got to work with. They're going to do just fine. Now, those two speed lights we talked about, you're going to use them for your background lights, and we're also going to use a key light for some of these shots. And we want our key light to be modified with something like a shoot-through umbrella or a softbox. Now, the key light can also be a basic speed light. Again, it doesn't have to be a high-powered strobe. And you might also want to use some flags or reflectors to help protect from flare into the lens or to help control contrast. Now, the setup itself is pretty easy. You're going to position two lights behind the subject, angled toward the background. You can kind of feather them. Just make sure that you're avoiding getting any hot spots. That's what we're trying to do, is just have even coverage and avoid hotspots on that background. The background could be a simple light colored wall or even a light colored backdrop. What you're going to do next is you're going to place the key light in front of the subject, slightly above and to one side, to make sure that you get that soft, natural illumination. The subject's going to stand a few feet forward of the background. As far as camera and light settings, these are the settings that I'd stick with, but this is only an example, okay? You might need different settings for your setup. For me, shutter speed is going to be 1/250th of a second because that's my camera's normal flash sync speed. My aperture is going to be f8 or f9 because I want to retain some detail and texture. My ISO is going to be 100 for clean, noise-free images, usually, because just as a side note, sometimes with images like this, a little noise is actually a good thing. And if you don't get it by using high ISOs, you can always dial it in or add grain in post. Now with the background lights, I usually start with 1/4 power for those speed lights and then adjust as needed to create a bright, even background. The key light, I just want to make sure that it's powerful enough to illuminate the subject without blowing out details. I'm going to take some test shots, make some adjustments until I get what I like. Now here's some shooting tips. One thing you want to do is monitor light spill. So check for unintended highlights or lens flare caused by the background light. Just take some shots, look at your test shots and see if this is happening. And if you are having that problem, sometimes just a little adjustment of the angle of the lights or using flags can help. Also, you want to balance your key light. Just make sure that the subject is well lit but not overexposed so that you've got enough detail to work with in post. Because in post, you can always sharpen just a little bit or you can soften the image up a little bit. But it's nice to start off with something good and crisp and have good detail in there. Also, I'd encourage that you have a model experiment with poses. So classic standing poses are really the way to go, but don't be afraid to try tasteful props. Just keep it minimal and try some creative movements. And I will say a lot of that is going to come down to the model's experience with figure poses. And that's another thing that I cover in my Bodyscapes training package. That's finding the right models, working with those models, and there's lots of other tips when it comes to dealing with models for this type of work. All right, let's talk about editing or post-processing. All right, so once your shots are imported into Lightroom or Photoshop, honestly, for me, most of this is really done in Lightroom. Photoshop is just for like those very final, very specific, precise touches. So once you get your shots in editing, here's what you can do. Use creative cropping. That's just kind of a given. Look for interesting sections of the frame to emphasize and crop to. So even if you shot more of a figure than a bodyscape, you can zero in on a section to create a nice abstract. You're also probably going to want to adjust exposure and contrast. This will help you enhance the brightness of the background while maintaining detail in the subject. And another thing that I like to do in post is experiment with tints. So subtle color tones or sepia effects can really add a lot to some of these images. And if you don't want to do that, black and white is always a strong choice. You can also add softness, maybe experiment with the clarity and texture sliders to create a dreamy, ethereal quality. Now here's a variation that you might want to try. Just don't use a key light on the subject and just rely on the background lights and the residual room bounce of that lighting in your shots. This way the subject's at least a little bit underexposed so that when you bring the images into post, you can bump up the exposure as much as you like and you can get looks like this. Now notice the way that the background light starts wrapping around when you do this, and this is probably where you're going to introduce some noise because of those adjustments, and you might like, the feel of something like this. So high-key bodyscape photography has a lot going for it, and if you practice with it, you're going to expand your creative toolkit and be able to offer your clients a broader range of artistic styles. Now, I'm going to remind you again, don't forget to check out my guides. They're going to help get you up and running very quickly. And there are tons of reference images in there to help you communicate poses and looks to your models. Plus, you're going to learn all about several other lighting techniques that are just as easy to do as the ones I showed you in this video. Some of them probably a little easier. All right, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. That's about all I've got for you today. See you next time.